What's up, guys? This is the Dread Pirate, also known as Orion SX on YouTube. Um, this is my second video in the farming series using the fillers, and I've devised a way to semi-automate the process, but it does still require a little user interaction. Um, I don't know if you guys watched my previous video, but if you did, if you haven't, go ahead and watch that. I'll try and link that in the description so that you can see how I created the farm using the two fillers that you see here. Now, as near as I can tell, the only way to actually use fillers to farm is to use multiple of them, because they can't readily change tasks automatically. They can if you go in and manually rearrange the shape pattern of the filler template, if you will. But it's just tedious, and there's no way to automate that, because when a pipeline deposits anything in a filler, it will automatically deposit it in the lower portion, as you just saw there. So there's no way to really automate the template as far as I know. Maybe something will come out later to change that, at which point using less fillers will be an option. But at the moment I'm working with 3. And you can also see I've got this massive grid of obsidian pipes, an obsidian pipe network above here, using stone pipes and silver pipes, or iron pipes rather, to control the direction of the items as they are picked up. Now this is, like I said, the only way that I can readily find that will collect the wheat and seeds. Sorry, I'm a little tongue-tied this evening. Collect the wheat and seeds and transport them to a chest where they can be processed. As you can see here, I've automated a little bit. This filter here will sort the wheat into the box, and then the seeds it will redispense back to the filler responsible for planting the seeds, so the process can continue. I'm not going to be bothered to wait for all the wheat to grow. When building on this large of a scale, it's impossible to use water channels to hydrate the plants, so they do grow rather slowly. You can use rain, of course, to hydrate it, of course. But I did notice that underneath the pipes, the rain doesn't actually fall, so you'll end up with a stripe, well, several stripes where your pipe grid is, that does not get hydrated. And I think, if I remember correctly, when it's fully hydrated, the soil is actually darker, and it grows even faster. So, that aside, this video will focus on using the pipe network. So I'm going to show you how this works, and then I will break, and I will show you how to create a much smaller, much easier to use, more efficient application, as this one was just mainly for testing. I honestly don't know if I'm even going to leave this here. I'll probably strip it out when I continue building on top of this plateau that I told you to ignore in the last video. So let's get started here. Now the key is the two fillers here. They each have a separate job, and they're all 3 of them actually told to operate within the same bounds. That's why you see double stacked construction tape, or hazard tape, whatever you want to call it. The top filler is responsible, and I did switch this from my last video, so if you're wondering why it's backwards, it was just for testing. It actually doesn't make any difference which one's on top. The top filler is responsible for, tilling, rather. Sorry, again with the tongue-tying. But as you can see, it uses diamond hose. You can use whatever hoe type you want. Just keep in mind that as it is hoeing, the hose will take damage, as you can see from this one here. The second number behind the colon indicates the amount of damage that this hoe has taken, and you can see from its health bar that it has depreciated a little bit. The bottom filler is responsible for planting the seeds. So that's where all our seeds are going to go. Since my field is already planted, I only have 64 seeds in there. I'm going to leave it that way so that I can show you how the automation works. Now, I don't have this completely automated yet. It is controlled by a series of switches. Actually, these ones are controlled simply by placing a power conduit. It can be automated via the use of the gates, which I will show you a couple useful triggers that were added recently in one of the latest versions of Buildcraft. So they apply directly to the fillers and make the whole thing work, make this whole process a lot more manageable. I just don't have the patience or the need really to actually design a full logic circuit, but I'll show you how to do that when I create the much smaller application later on. Okay, so anyways, getting started here. As you can see, my field is already planted. Power is currently disconnected from the fillers that are responsible for planting. So we're going to go ahead and activate the power on our harvester. Well, the filler that's responsible for harvesting. Now this is just a filler. It's using the clear template, and it has a one-dimensional box shape. It does not require a two-dimensional shape on this one. So you just plant your markers at the corners of your the area that you're working with, as I've done, and apply power, and it will go to work. As you can see, it's stripping away. Since the wheat is not fully grown, of course, we're not obviously going to get seeds back on every patch, nor wheat. But ideally, you would want to do this when your wheat patch is fully grown, of course. So this is just for demonstration purposes again. We're going to fly up here so you can kind of see. It drops the wheat and the seeds on the dirt, which is why the obsidian pipes are needed. And you'll see, since the soil here is not hydrated, that the farmland patches do revert back to normal dirt rather quickly. That's not really an issue because one of the fillers, of course, is responsible for retilling the dirt if it's needed. So it will skip patches that have already been tilled or are still farmland. So no worries there. Alright, so our filler has completely stripped the land for us. So we're going to go ahead and toggle it off. And we're going to go back over here and we're going to activate the obsidian network. So this one switch will enable all of my obsidian vacuum pipes. And as you can see, it's not 100% efficient. That's mostly my fault because I didn't position the obsidian pipes with the correct pattern. But roughly at that altitude, they have a let's see, that's 4 blocks up. So they have a 9-block radius, or a 9-block diameter of effect on the ground. So they are actually spaced a little bit too far apart, as you can see here. But if it's a really big issue, you can always run along and pick up the rest, or of course simply use. Now this is interesting. I'm not sure why that's not sucking. Those are directly below that. There should be no reason for that. Okay, that's just odd. Okay, I suspect that. Oh, okay, it's because the. Oh, that's my fault. Oops, my bad. I see what caused that. The iron pipe is not set, so it's just blocking everything. Yeah. Pro tip: don't forget to set your pipes. We want everything to flow that way. So. There we go. Now it's functioning correctly. Very good. Very good. I don't think I made that error anywhere else. Except now I have some going the wrong direction, but they'll get bounced back as soon as they hit this gate over here. I think. In theory. Of course, we all know how effective my theories are. Yep, okay, so they reversed. Yeah, I don't see that happening anywhere else. Looks like everything else functioned correctly. Okay, so anyways, it's not necessarily the motors running. You can go ahead and toggle those off to save fuel. In fact, they only technically need to run for 1 cycle. Oops, I did the same thing here. Crap. And I'm a terrible tutorialist, aren't I? Anyways, yeah, make sure you set your pipes. I was in kind of a hurry when I set this up, so my apologies. But as I said, the motors only technically need to run for 1 cycle. They are combustion engines, so they're kind of expensive, which is why that coupled with the obsidian pipes, this size of an application is horribly inefficient and very expensive to even use. But in smaller applications, it can be very successful. Or if you're using creative mode like I am, and you just want to get it to work, or you have a ton of resources laying around, These are just iron gates, so they're not horribly expensive, iron and gates. And it's going to start raining here. Let me turn the sun up so we can see. But anyways, yeah, the pipe network ships all the collected resources, all the wheat and seeds through the network over to this distribution point where the seeds get shipped back over to the filler. So let me just grab these excess here that, as you can see, I didn't have a pipe out here far enough to collect these ones, but again, too large of an application. Yeah, I collected quite a few seeds. So assuming you're not an idiot like I am and mess up all your seeds, all of your seeds will end up in this box. And because each wheat patch, when fully grown, can generate 0 to up to 3 units of seeds, it might be prudent to have a buffer chest as well, because the filler only has the capacity of a small chest. So you may want to have a large chest set up next to it with a AND gate switch to check and see if the filler has room for seeds, and if it does, then go ahead and pump some in there. If not, then just keep them in the chest. But so there's no reason to wait. You can go ahead and reconnect the power, or if you're using an automation process, reactivate the fillers that are responsible for planting. So let me just grab a piece of pipe and connect that. I did have a switch here for this function exactly, but I experienced a really weird glitch. My Minecraft installation crashed, and I thought I corrupted my world, so I disabled the switch on that one. So use caution when messing with that. But looks like the fillers are not reporting that they have anything to do, so we need to reset them. I'll show you. To do that, just move a block, and it should take off, or maybe not. Okay. That's interesting. Okay, let's troubleshoot. First, are we getting power? Okay, I have no idea what all these little red blocks are. Oh, those might be the chunk loading block indicators. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, anyways, power. Yeah, we are getting power. So what the problem is? I'm probably just making some stupid mistake here. It's not even tilling though. What's going on? Okay, let's try looping it. Need red wire, and yeah, that should be. Okay, so I'll actually get to see, you actually get to see some of the triggers I was talking about. Let's see. The first one is the on toggle, which forces the device to on, which means that it will continue working even if the process has been completed. And then the other one is the off toggle, of course, which forces it to disable, and then the loop toggle, which forces it to continue looping. So we're just going to set a force off, and a force loop. So as you can see there, if the red line is powered, the device will loop. If the red line is not powered, then it will force the device off. So just go ahead and flip the switch, and there we go. Okay, now it's functioning. But yeah, that's the basics of it. The fillers will, as you saw in the last video, plant the entire field for us. And as soon as our seeds get there, if it runs out of seeds, the pipe network will deliver more. Now, I didn't use gold pipes just because, like I said, I was in a hurry. This is just for demonstration purposes. I probably won't even end up keeping this here. But feel free to use gold pipes to accelerate the flow of seeds. If you're building a completely self-sufficient system that will plant and then let it grow and then harvest and then separate the seeds, rather than feeding it seeds by hand. Since I'm in creative mode, obviously I can just drop some in there. But if you're not in creative mode and you're attempting to use this, then you would want to use use some gold pipes to accelerate the flow of seeds so that you can continue farming, because everybody loves farming. Yeah. But anyways, that's the basics of it. Now I will go find a random secluded spot and create a tutorial on how to set up I think we're going to go with 6x6 farming block, completely, or as close to completely automated as I can manage. So, see you in a minute.